Hello everybody and welcome to OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. If you're looking for PTC geocodes, including the latest set Crown Zenith, make sure you check out the Potown store where you can get 5% off your order using code OmniPoke. Today, we're going to be taking a look at this sort of new trend that's been going on. We're going to have a bit of an off day from TCG. I'm going to be taking a look at some favourite Pokemon. There's this brilliant new website that allows you to pick out some of your favourites. I've done a stream a bit like this before in the past. This is kind of a filled out grid, how it looks when you've managed to pick all of your favourites, but we're going to be starting from a blank grid, yeah. I've done something like this before. I did my top 25 Pokemon. I think I did it on stream before, which was pretty fun, but obviously we've had a whole gen and a half basically since then, so it's going to be exciting to see which ones turn out to be my favourite. I'm going to leave the link in the description to this, and we'll perhaps have a bit of story time to find out about why some of these in particular are my favourites. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy. I'll leave a link to this grid down in the description. And yeah, so it's broken down into generations, but also into types. Then there's also gimmick form, starter, legend, favourite overall for the generations. You've got, you can assign your team, and you can then pick a few other categories, so things like regional bird, Pikachu clone, Gigantamax form, all of this good stuff that we're going to be taking a look at. I expect this will be quite a long video, just something really casual, something quite fun, and something quite laid back. So yeah, the other great thing is you click on a box and it automatically filters the options for you, so you can see exactly which Pokemon are available for each section. So you've got the Gen 3 bugs, you've got the Gen 7 fighting type Pokemon, you've got the Gen 9 fairy type Pokemon, and yeah, so it does all of the filtering for you, which is really, really nice. So yeah, I think I'm just going to straight up start in the top corner and just sort of work my way down. I'm going to try and fill in the whole grid. There was a couple of spaces on the grid that I showed you that were empty, but I'm going to try and fill in the whole grid. And I am going to allow myself duplicates, but if I can avoid them, I will. But I am going to allow myself duplicates. So yeah, jumping straight in. Gen 1 normal types. I haven't played, I love Fire Red and Leaf Green. Fire and Leaf Green are brilliant games. I really enjoy playing them. But I never played original Gen 1, so I don't have sort of a massive nostalgia to Gen 1. So it's going to be a bit of a boring pick, and I'm pretty sure it's just going to be Eevee. I really like Snorlax, I really like Eevee, and I really like the Pidgeot line. All three of those lines are definitely my favourite, but Pidgeot's definitely going to end up going in the flying section, I think. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a basic pick, but it is indeed going to be Eevee for normal Gen 1. Fire Gen 1, there's some brilliant fire types. I love Moltres, I love Rapidash, I love Arcanine, I love Ninetales, I love Charizard. All of these are brilliant. I think my favourite probably is Arcanine. There's probably going to be a lot of cliches in this, but Arcanine I'm pretty sure is my favourite there. There's a load of water types in Gen 1. Again, don't have massive nostalgia with many of these. Gyarados is great, but not necessarily my favourite. I really like Lapras as well. It's probably between Gyarados, Lapras, or Blastoise. Blastoise is really cool. Squirtle is also really cool. Yeah, it's definitely between those three. Gyarados, shiny Gyarados is just great. You can also turn, if you click the shiny charm, and then I click this Pokemon, you can also, yeah, make the Pokemon shiny, which is pretty cool. I think I'm gonna go Squirtle. I think he's my favorite. He's a good little geezer. But yeah, I like Gyarados and Lapras as well for sure. Grass types, I really am not the biggest fan of any of them, if I'm being completely honest. It's probably just one of the starters, but I'm not a massive fan of the Venusaur line. It's okay. I don't think it's the strongest starter in Gen 1 or the strongest grass starter by any means, but I think it's probably better than the rest. So which one of these is it? It's either Bulbasaur or Venusaur. I think I'm going to go with Bulbasaur. Electric types, not the biggest fan of Pikachu overall. I'm not the biggest fan of the Magneton line either. I'm not the biggest fan of Electrode line. Electabuzz is pretty cool, Johto's pretty cool, but I think Zapdos is probably my favourite. Ice types, there really isn't many. I have a bit of a soft spot for Jinx after playing what was it called? Fire Red Omega, which was a ROM hack of Fire Red, where you get to pick a starter, and the starter I randomized into was Smoochum. It was really, really strong. So I really started appreciating how strong Jinx was as soon as we got the physical special split, and it was able to. Well, it also kind of had special moves, I guess, but yeah, as soon as it was able to have a better move pool. So yeah, I do quite like Jinx. I'm pretty sure this one is going to be Lapras though. I do really like all three of the legendary birds in this generation though. It's either Lapras or Articuno. Let's. It's tough. I'm gonna go with Articuno. Fighting types. Not really a massive fan of any of them other than the Machamp line, but I think the Machamp line is brilliant. So yeah, gonna start with Machamp for this one. Poison types. There's some brilliant poison types. I think this is the generation with the most poison types. The Nidoking and Nidoqueen are great. Gengar line is brilliant. Grimer and Muck are hilarious. Coughing and Wheezing are hilarious. Even Zubat and Golbat are pretty cool. I'm pretty sure Nidoking, because I think Gengar's going to end up being my ghost type. Ground types, probably again it would be Nidoking or Nidoqueen. I do quite like Sandshrew and Sandslash. I like the lore behind the Marowak. I think it's a very interesting lore. It's a shame they haven't really gone too much further with it. Probably one of... It probably is Nidoqueen, to be fair. These two, I guess, are kind of interchangeable. Flying types. I mean, there's so many brilliant ones here. There's Charizard. There's the Pidgey line, which I really, really like. There's Scyther, Gyarados, Aerodactyl, the three legendary birds, and Dragonite. All of these are great. I think it's probably Pidgeotto. It's really weird having... It might actually be Moltres, even though I prefer Arcanine as a fire type. Moltres is my favourite of these three, which is quite funny. But I really like Pidgeot. Or actually Pidgeotto, yeah. I think I prefer Pidgeotto to Pidgeot. Tough one. I think I do prefer Moltres. You could argue that this could be here, but hey-ho. Psychic types... I get the hype, or I get the interest behind Mew and Mewtwo. They're really, really cool, but I think Alakazam is just the most cool Pokemon ever. It's such a cool Pokemon. Bug types. I think it's probably Scyther. Beedrill's pretty cool. It was cool that it got a Mega. The Paras line, I really don't like just because I don't like the lore behind it, how it's just basically like a fungus that's infected a dead Pokemon, which is kind of sad. I'm not the biggest fan of Pinsir. I don't mind Scyther. I like Scyther. I don't mind Sizzle, but I think Scyther is cooler. So yeah, I think we're going Scyther here. Whoops. Rock types. This is definitely going to be Aerodactyl. I think Aerodactyl is my favourite of the fossils. I like all three of the fossils, but I think Aerodactyl is my favourite of the fossils. Ghost types, of course, it is Gengar. Dragon types. Now, Dragonite is really cool. I have a friend, Connor, who would... berate me if I don't pick Dragonite, but I'm not going to pick Dragonite because I actually think Dratini is just a much cooler one. Dark types, there were no dark types. There's just these like random missing known fossils and stuff. I'm going to pick the ghost thingy just because it actually existed, I guess. Magneton or Magnemite, which one do I prefer? Probably Magneton. We do have some fairy types, the Clefable line, the Wigglytuff line, and Mr. Mime. I have no massive fondness to any of these. So probably Mr. Mime because I've used that as a Pokemon in the past. Favorite starter, even though I have picked some different things here, I'm actually not going to pick any of the ones I've picked. I don't really consider Pikachu and Eevee starters, even though they were in the Let's Go series. I don't think they're true to the game starters. And even though I've picked Squirtle and Bulbasaur for their respective types, Charmander is my favourite starter of the three. Gimmick form, this is Megas in this evolution, in this instance, along with some G-Max forms, which is my favorite Mega or G-Max form. There are some really cool ones. I really like both Charizards. I really like the Alakazam. I really like Gengar. I really like Kangaskhan. VMAX or G-Max wise, I'm not massive on any of them. I wasn't a big fan of the G-Max mechanic. I think Charizard is the only one I really like. I think this is Y. I think this is Mega Charizard Y. I think Mega Charizard Y is my favorite. My favorite legendary, I think out of all of this is probably Moltres. I'm going to say favorites till right at the end, I think, though. On to Gen 2. Gen 2 is, I think, my second favorite generation in terms of games. It's my fourth favorite in terms of Pokemon, but my second favorite in terms of games. Normal types, what have we got here? Not the biggest fan of any of these normal types, really, if I'm being completely honest. Miltank's kind of funny, but I'm not massive on any of them. For the sake of picking one, I think it's probably the Noctowl line. I quite like Apom. Yeah, let's go Apom. Fire types, there are some brilliant fire types in this generation. In fact, I like pretty much all of these. I'm not the biggest fan of the Magcargo line, not the biggest fan of Magby, but the legendary beasts are like my second favorite legendary trio. Ho-Oh is just brilliant, and Houndoom and the Houndour and the Quilava lines are just great as well. Because I know, we might end up changing this. I can't remember what other dark types there are. Let's cheat a little bit and see if there's any other dark types. Oh, there's Umbreon. Yeah, okay. I think I'm going Houndoom here because I have a feeling we're going to see Typhlosion once again later on. Again, I think there's only one dragon type in this gen, right? Yeah, so I don't need to spend my pick here on Kingdra, because I think Kingdra is my favorite. Actually, no, it's probably Wooper, realistically. Wooper and Quagsire are just brilliant. I think they're going to take up 2 slots, and I still get to pick Kingdra, which is great. I really like Suicune, but I wish it was an ice type, so that's going to miss out. I also really like the Lantern line. Fraliget is pretty cool, but it's going to be Mr. Wooper here. Grass types. I think the grass types are pretty lackluster in this gen. Not the biggest fan of any of them. I think the Chikorita line is probably my favorite, just because I think it's the only one I've used. Not the biggest fan of the Hoppip, Skiploom, Jumpluff line. I think Sunflora is a bit of a joke. Celebi's pretty cool, but I've never really used it too much. The Onion Baby. Let's go. I think it probably is Meganium, to be honest. Lightning types now. Again, I really like the Lantern line. I like the Ampharos line. I like Mareep and Flaffy. I'm not the biggest fan, excuse me, of Ampharos, which is a shame, because I think it could have been I don't know what they could have done, but it just doesn't look like a sheep, right? But I don't know what they could have done. I think I'm picking Raikou though. Ice types, there's not a huge amount. Again, not a massive fan, or not particularly drawn to any of them. Probably Piloswine, thinking about it. Fighting types, I've never been a massive fan of the Tyrogue stuff, and I actually quite like Heracross, so that's all good with me. Poison types, Crobat without a doubt. Crobat is such a cool Pokemon. Ground types, there's some very strong ground types. The Donphan line is brilliant. The first half of the Larvitar line is brilliant. But it's Quag without a doubt. Flying types, again, some very strong flying types. I think if I hadn't picked Crobat already, it probably would be Crobat from this lineup, but as I can't pick Crobat, I could potentially, I can't remember what psychic types we have. Okay, we've got a lot of, it's all the unknowns, makes a lot of sense. Do I prefer Lugia or Ho-Oh? It's tough. I played HGS at Heart Gold. I never played Soul Silver, so I don't think I've ever owned a Lugia in a game, which is kind of funny. But I still think I prefer Lugia. Maybe it's TCG related. Who knows? Psychic types, Espeon is my favorite. Is my favorite evolution. Basically tied with Umbreon, but yeah, favorite evolution. Bug types. This is a tough one because I think Heracross is the strongest. I think I'm probably picking Scizor, even though I said I way prefer Scyther. I think Scizor is the second best in this lineup. Ariados and Spinarak are kind of cool, but I think Scizor is the second best in the lineup. Rock types, T-Tar, it's got to be. T-Tar is brilliant. Ghost types, there's only one. I actually quite like Mischievous anyway, so that's cool. Kingdra, once again, I love Kingdra, one of my favourite Pokemon. Umbreon, Joint for my favourite two evolutions for sure. Steel types, I kind of like Skarmory. It's okay. It's not my all-time favourite, but again, that would probably go to Sizzle. I quite like Skarmory though. It's a pretty cool Pokemon. I just wish it had a better move pool. I also quite like Steelix, but again, I'm not really drawn to any of these, and I'm more drawn to Skarmory, I think. And then Fairy types. Again, really not much love for any of these little baby Pokemon. Probably Cleffa, purely because of the TCG once again. Favorite starter from this gen, I actually find really hard because I like all three of the Cyndaquil line, and I really like Totodile. I think my favorite is Cyndaquil though. Excuse me. Gimmick form. It's a real disappointment what they did with some of these gimmick forms. I think Tyranitar is my favorite. I'm so sad that Houndoom didn't basically become a Cerberus. It was written in the stars, right? But it didn't, which was a real shame. I think T-Tar just getting more spikes is kind of the one for me. This Ampharos is really cool because it gets the Dragon type, which is very interesting. But yeah, I think I'm going to go with T-Tar. And my favorite legend. It's going to be one of the legendary beasts, and I always struggle to pick which is my favorite of these. I always struggle to pick. I think it's Entei. I think Entei is my favorite, but I like all of them in unison. It might be Suicune, actually. It might be Suicune. Yeah, I'm going to go Suicune. Alrighty. So yeah, I seem to have noticed I like fire starters. I like fire Pokemon. Entei was nearly picked for this one, so yeah, fire is definitely up there for me. Generation 3 normal types. I think the Slacking line is really interesting, but I'm not particularly drawn to it. I can't remember what flying types there are. Are there any other good flying types? There are some pretty good flying types. I think it's probably Swellow, to be honest. Again, it's not necessarily a normal type Pokemon in a massively traditional sense, but hey ho. Fire types, I think is quite a poor generation for fire types. I'm not a massive fan of Numel or Camerupt or Torkoal or Sunny Cast Form, so it's going to be one of these starters. I think it's between Torchic and Blaziken. I'm not the biggest fan of Combuskin. It's between Torchic and Blaziken. I think I'm going Torchic just for the cute factor. Water types. Now, obviously, this was a pretty water-filled generation, so there are a lot of water types. Because I know I'm going to be picking... Depending on how no dupes I want to be, I'm pretty sure my favourite starter will end up being the Mudkip. So if I know I'm going to pick Mudkip, Swampert is probably going to be what I pick. I really like Milotic though. Milotic is the other one that I'm really considering. Sharpedo is quite cool, but I feel like to be honest, I just really like it to evolve. I feel like it could go one step further. I'm going to go Milotic. I think that's definitely a really tough call between Swampert and Milotic, but I think Milotic is a really cool Pokemon and very, very unique in terms of evolution and stuff. Grass types, I'm going to struggle with a little bit more. I quite like Grovyle. I'm not a massive fan of Trico or Sceptile, but Grovyle, you might like. It's kind of like why like they're all the same Pokemon, but I don't know. There's just that. I think it's the Mystery Dungeon games that have drawn me more towards Grovyle. I also think Lotad is hilarious. Great little Pokemon there. I've started to appreciate Shroomish and Brillium a little bit more. Other than that, not massive fans. I don't mind Leap and Cradily, but I don't think there's much to them. I'm going to go Grovyle. Electric types, without a doubt, out of these four, it's going to be Manectric. Don't really have masses and masses of decisions to make here, but yeah, I think I probably prefer Manectric over to Electrike or Electrike. Ice types, Spheal, I think, is the easy pick because look at how happy it is. I'm not a massive fan of Regice, Registeel or Regirock. I much prefer the new ones. Regice is probably my favourite of the three, though. I don't really understand Snorunt and Glalie. If anyone can explain Snorunt and Glalie a little bit more to me, that would be great. But I don't really understand how this goes to this, but hey-ho. I actually quite like the Walrein line. I just don't know whether Walrein is my favourite or whether it's actually Spheal. I think it's Spheal. Fighting types. This one probably is Breloom. I think Makita and Hariyama are quite cool. I've used them in a team before, but they're not particularly exciting. I really don't like Medicham and Meditite. I probably prefer Blaziken. Yeah, I probably prefer Blaziken. Poison types. Seviper is cool. Seviper is pretty cool. That's a tough one. It's either Seviper or Gulpin, I think. I think I'm going to go... tough one. I also quite like Swalot. Maybe it is Swalot. He's quite funny. Excuse me. Ground types. This is a tough one between Swampert and Flygon. Flygon is really cool. Feels so sad not getting Swampert onto this page, but I think it is. I think I do prefer Flygon to Swampert. Flying types. There are some brilliant flying types. I think Rayquaza is going to end up being the Dragon I pick. But the other one I'm picking is probably Salamence, so it kind of is negligible either way. Yeah, let's go Salamence. Psychic types, I think this is basically between Metagross and Gardy. I think a lot of people's favourite Pokemon are Metagross and Gardy, or will be for the Psychic types. I think I prefer Gardevoir just for TCG reasons more than anything, because it's been a bit better in the TCG. Metagross is really, really cool. But I have a feeling, I can't remember all of the gimmick forms, but I have a feeling we're going to be seeing Mega Metagross momentarily. So let's go Gardevoir for now. Bug types, I think this is probably Anorith. I do like Shedinja though. Shedinja is pretty cool. Am I going Shedinja or am I going Anorith? I think I'm going Anorith. Rock types. This is a bit tougher. I think this is probably Aggron. Yeah, let's go Aggron for rock. Ghost types. This is really hard because I like all of these ghost types. Maybe Bar Sableye. Sableye is quite cool, but maybe Bar Sableye. I think I'm going to go Burnett though. Yeah, this has to be Ray. Ray is brilliant. Dark types. I think this is probably Crawdaunt just because this is the mon I've used the most. Oh, maybe it might be Absol though, you know. Absol I feel is a really underused Pokemon, or I feel like it's such a unique Pokemon. They really just haven't given it much. They haven't given it like many unique traits. It's a really unique Pokemon. They haven't given it like many unique moves or anything like that. They haven't made a massive deal out of it. I do think I prefer it to Crawdaunt though. Steel types, yeah, this is probably where we're going to see Metagross for sure. Fairy types, now, it would be Gardevoir if I wasn't trying to do dupes. What other Psychic types are there in case I can squeeze an extra Psychic type in? I do like Deoxys. Deoxys is cool. But I'm just going to do Routes here. I actually really like Routes anyway. Not the biggest fan of Curlier, but yeah. This is without a doubt Mudkip. Mudkip is like my second favourite starter ever. Gimmick forms. This is tough because I really like Mega Metagross. I really like Mega Bennett. Mega Gardy is okay. Mega Sableye is really cool. Think it's probably Delta Stream Rayquaza. I think it's called Delta Stream Rayquaza though. I think this Pokemon is absolutely absurd. I think it's between these three. Mega Banette is so cool. I think Banette is a really, again, a really underutilized Pokemon. I think you could create some really cool lore with Mega Banette. I'm gonna go Mega Ray though. And my favorite legendary, this probably will be the first time we do have some crossover, because I think Ray is without a doubt my favorite legendary here, as you can see from Mega Ray being in there as well. On to Generation 4. This is my favorite generation, so this will probably be the hardest of all of the decisions I have to make. I think Staraptor is my favorite. I can't remember, wait, what other flying types do we have options of? We don't have, I'm not a huge fan of many of the other flying types, really, but I'm really not a huge fan of any of these normal types, which is the issue. Let's go for a good old bit of, let's go Starly here, and I'm going to fill in Staraptor right here as well. Fire types, Chimchar is my favorite Pokemon. He is definitely up there. Water types, again, some brilliant water types. I love the Weasel line. Palkia is one of my favorite legendaries. I really like the Luminion line, but Piplup is also also top 5 for me, I'm pretty sure. Grass types, purely because I'm biased, I'm going to be picking Turtwig here, I think, because again, I really like all three of these starters. It might be Torterra, actually. This might be the first, this might be the only one of the three where I do prefer the final evolution. I think Torterra is really cool. Leafeon is also really cool. It might be Leafeon. Not the biggest fan of the, I don't mind the Shamans, but not the biggest fan. I really don't like Tangrowth or the Abomasnow line. Is it Leafeon or is it one of these? Tough call, tough call. Let's go. Oh. Let's go. I think it is Torterra. Yeah, let's go Torterra. Electric types. This is I really like a lot of these, but this is basically between Luxray and Shinx for me, and I think I'm going to pick Shinx, but Luxray is super cool. Or is it just Luxray? Maybe it is just Luxray. Yeah, it's just Luxray. Ice types, I might have to change this when we get to the ghost types, but I'm pretty sure it's just Frostlass. I think Frostlass is a really cool mon. Fighting types, again, some brilliant fighting types. I like all of these Pokemon right here. We're going to put Krogunk for now, I think, but that could change momentarily. Nope, I'm pretty sure that's sticking because I think Drapion is my favorite poison type. Ground types from this generation, I mean, how can it not be Garchomp, basically? There are some pretty cool other ones. I do quite like Mamoswine. I do quite like Rhyperior as well. But yeah, Garchomp is absurd. Psychic types. This is going to be a bit of a weird one. This is going to be Azelf. I really like the Pixies. I think they're my favorite legendary trio, even though they're all the same type. I think they're just really, really cool. Willpower, knowledge, and the other one, willpower, knowledge. Oh, they're my favorite, but I can't remember. Yeah, willpower, knowledge, and something else. But for some reason, Azelf is just my favorite. I don't know why. I think it's because I used one in one of my playthroughs, and it was just a sweeper when I was really young. And I think it's the most aggressive of the three, which is why I ended up using it, which is why I ended up liking it. So yeah, I don't know why. Willpower, knowledge. That's really going to annoy me for the rest of the video now. Onto the bug types. This is either Yanmega or Skorupi. I really like Skorupi, but I think it is going to be Yanmega. Rock types. I think I'm the only person in the world that really likes Bastiodon, but it's going to be Bastiodon, which is quite funny. Ghost types. Now, this is where things are going to get really complicated because, like these next few are going to be very difficult. This one here as well. These are all going to be very, very difficult. I need to work out how I want to weave in. I really like Dusknoir. I really like Rotom. But I think it's Altered Form Giratina. And I think that lets me do Palkia here, because I think my steel type is going to be Dialga. Just looking at these. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure then I can do Palkia here. Dark types, this is probably Darkrai. I really like all of the legendaries in this gen. It's between Darkrai and Spiritomb. Yeah, I'm going to go Darkrai. Steel types is going to be Dialga for sure. Fairy types, I mean, sure, whichever. Not a massive fan of either. This is going to be good old Chimchar. Gimmick form, this is just the megas of these 5. Again, I feel like I'm basically the only person in the world that actually likes Mega Garchomp, but I really like Mega Garchomp. Favorite legendary is, without a doubt, Altered Form Giratina. Oh, sorry, yeah, Origin Form Giratina, not Altered Form. So yeah, Gen 5 has my second favorite plethora of Pokemon. And my favorite normal type is indeed Lillipup, because look at it, it's adorable. Fire types, excuse me. Fire types, I, again, feel like not many people like the Pignite line, or the Emboar line, but I really do. Chandelure is obviously great. Volcarona and Larvesta are obviously great. And Reshiram is obviously great. This one, I think, whilst I said Generation 4 was going to be the hardest, it actually might, thinking about it, might be this one. Because I think these two generations have such strong Pokemon in them. What do the other bugs look like? See, there's some pretty good bugs like Galvantula. I think we're going to go Volcarona. Water types. I've learned to like Samurott a lot more, but it's basically Hisuian Samurott rather than regular Samurott, which is kind of a... kind of cheating. I quite like Timpole, Palpitated and Seismitoad. I think it's probably Tortuga though. Is this from Tortuga? Yeah, because this one's Caracosta. Yeah, I think it's probably Tortuga. Grass types. Not the strongest of grass types. Snivy is pretty cool. I'm not a fan of Servine or Superior, but Snivy is pretty cool. Yeah, and then it's just Virizion as the other one that I think is pretty cool. I was just going through each of these. I'm pretty sure it's between Snivy and Virizion. I think it's probably Virizion, to be honest. Electric types. This might end up being Zekrom. Yeah, I think this is going to end up being Zekrom. I can't remember what other legends there are in this. There's a lot on there. Yeah. I think my favorite legend is probably Reshiram. I think I slightly prefer Reshiram to Zekrom. Ice types. So we've got the Ice Creams, which I don't like. Cubchoo and Beartic. I like Cubchoo. I don't really like Beartic. I don't like Creogonal. And all of the Kyrums. I'm not the biggest fan of the two Fusion Kyrums. Not the biggest fan of old Kyurem. It's probably Cubchoo, which is quite funny. Fighting types. There are some brilliant fighting types in this generation. Basically, just this Timber line carries it, I think. They're so good. But I also like Throw and Sork. And I also really like I can't remember what these... The Justified Trio, or whatever they're called. I can't really remember what they're called. Keldeo is by far my favourite of those. And I think... No, I think it is Conkeldurr. Conkeldurr is hilarious. Yeah, we're going Conkeldurr. Poison types. This is probably just Scolipede. Yeah, I think this is just Scolipede. I'm not the biggest fan of... I've never really been a Garb player, so I can't even try and like it because of the Garbs, good Garb stuff in TCG. My favourite of these is it is probably Sandile. I'm pretty sure Crocodile will end up over here. Oh, wait a minute. There are some great dark types in this generation. For some reason, I thought this was Gen 6. It's not. Oof. tough. I still think this is Sandile regardless. I think I prefer Sandile to Crocodile. I also really like Drillbur and Excadrill though. Flying types. This is the first generation where we got some pure flying types. However, none of them really hit me. Archeops from recent memory is quite cool, but they would nerf it to the ground, so never really used one. I think it's probably a Mulga just because it's a flying squirrel. Not really a fan of any of these others. I don't mind the genies, but because they're all basically the same Pokemon, I don't like any of their Therian forms. Yeah, I'm going a Mulga. Psychic types. I feel like there's some missing. I can't tell. It's like there's some missing. Ah, there were some missing. Okay, cool. Yeah, the Gothitelle and the Reuniclus lines. I think I prefer Gothitelle to Reuniclus. I like both of these Evo lines though. Bug types. It's probably Joltik. It's probably my third favorite because I think I prefer Scolipede and Larvesta, but I do quite like Joltik anyway. Sorry, Volcarona and Scolipede. Rock types. This one's probably Gigalith. I really like Gigalith. I'm not a fan of the pre-evolutions, but I think Gigalith is really cool. Ghost types. This is definitely just Chandelure for me. Easy. Dragon types. This one is probably Hydreigon. I'm not the biggest fan of the Haxorus line. I think we're going to end up seeing Reshi later, so let's go there. That makes this decision between Crocodile and Zoroark, and I'm going to pick Zoroark. Steel types. Yeah, this is probably just Excadrill. I feel like a lot of people have the same favorite Pokemon. My favorite starter, I quickly picked Whimsicott basically because it's the cooler of the two in that evolution line. My favorite starter, it's got to be Tepig. Gimmick form, G-Max Trashalanche, just because I'm not the biggest fan of Mega Rodino, despite its notoriety in the TCG. I think Reshiram is my favorite. It's definitely between Reshiram and Zekrom, but I think Reshiram is my favorite out of the two, though, for sure. On to Generation 6 and some normal types. We've got the Megas already in here, weaved in. We've got all of these Furfrou styles. We've got Helioptile, which is brilliant. I can't remember what fire types there are because it could well... No, it's not. Okay, yeah. It's probably Litleo, and I think this fire type is Talonflame. I do kind of prefer Fletchinder. I think it's Talonflame, though. I think Talonflame... Yeah, I think it's Talonflame. I'm a bit reluctant to pick any of these, because I don't really consider these true Gen 6 Pokemon, but hey. Water types. This one has to be Greninja. Or is it Froakie? I think it's Greninja. I also really like the Clauncher and Clawitzer line. Grass types, what do we have? This is definitely Trevenant. Yeah, this is Trevenant. I think these ones are going to be quite easy because I'm not the biggest fan of many of these Pokemon. There are 3 new Pokemon to pick from here. It's going to be Helioptile, Heliolisk, and Dedenne. I like all 3 of these Pokemon, but it's, I think... do I prefer Helioptile or Heliolisk? I'm going to go Heliolisk. Ice types. I really like Amora. I actually don't mind either of these evolutions. I think Amora's my favorite though. Fighting types. This is where I might end up having to pick something from one of the previous gens because I'm not... Oh, I quite like Pancham. Yeah, we'll go Pancham. Poison types, without a doubt, it's Dragalge. This is one of my favorite Pokemon. To many people's surprise, there are only 2 ground types in this generation. That's absurd. Do I prefer Zygarde or Diggersby? I think I prefer Diggersby. Look at all those Vivions. Flying types. This is probably where I'm going to weave in the Fletchinder, I guess. Noivern is quite cool though. I don't know if I prefer Noibat or Noivern. Let's go. I'm still going to go Fletchinder, I think. Psychic types. What do we have here? We have Esper, Meowstic, Inkay, Hooper, and Hooper Unbound. I think it's probably Malamar, partly TCG related, partly because I think it's the most unique one. Wow, this is basically just a Vivian line if I don't want to use an old Mon. So what's my favourite Vivian pattern? It's probably this one. Rock types, what do we have here? Oh, we have some brilliant ones here. What dragon types do we have? Do I need to pick Tyrantrum now? Or can I pick Tyrantrum later? Kind of doesn't matter because I'm picking Tyrant to Tyrantrum for both of those. Ghost types, Aegislash without a doubt. I think in shield form. It's weird that they've done the different forms for these because I think that I consider them one and the same basically. Dark types. This might be my first dupe. Oh no, it probably is. In fact, yeah, it almost certainly is Yveltal, right? Yeah, I prefer Yveltal to Malamar for sure. And I might even prefer it to... Oh, maybe I don't prefer it to Greninja, but even so. Steel types. I guess I get to pick my other Aegislash form. Brilliant. Fairy types. There are a lot of fairies in this gen. Oh no, there weren't. There's just lots of forms of fairies, apparently. I think Powered Up Xerneas is probably my favourite out of all of these, though. I don't really like the Slurpuff or the Aromatisse lines at all. Yeah, let's go Powered Up Xerneas. Favourite starter is without a doubt. It looks like I'm usually picking the little ones, which is interesting. But I think for the first time, I do prefer Greninja to Froakie. Gimmick form, this is just all of the megas, so I guess what's my favourite mega evolution? That's a really tough one. I think it's between the 3 I have here. What's this Pokemon called? Charizard, Ray, or Garchomp. I think it's between those 3. I think it's Ray. There aren't any true gimmick forms in this gen, are there? No. So yeah, we're going to be doubling up with Ray here. Favorite legendary. This is I definitely prefer Yveltal to Xerneas. So yeah. Gen 7, I think these will get quicker and quicker now. Considering I really do not know what to pick. Well, maybe they won't because I'm just not going to know what to pick ever for any of these. It's probably Silvally, to be honest. I think Silvally's pretty cool. Fire types. I may end up changing this. Wait, I can just look at the poison types. Yeah, okay, cool. So I get to pick Alolan Marowak for the fire types. Water types. I'm going to pick Golisopod for now. Grass types. This is definitely Rowlet. I'm just trying to work out whether it's Rowlet or Decidueye. I think it is Rowlet. Electric types. Is it ever anything but Zeraora? It could be Vikavolt, but I think I prefer Zeraora. Ice types. This is just between Vulpix and Ninetales. How many other fairy types are there? I prefer Ninetales to all of these, I think. Yeah, okay. I'm going to go Vulpix here, and I can go Ninetales over here, wherever the fairy slot is. Fighting types. This is a tough one. This is a really tough one. I liked Persimmon for a while, but I'm not a big fan of it anymore. I liked it when I thought it was a tiny little Pokemon that was just went around beating people up, but it turns out it's actually pretty huge when you see it in Scarlet and Violet. It might be Buzzwole, you know. I really like Buzzwole. Yeah, let's go Buzzwole. Why not? Poison types. I don't know whether this is Salander or Salazzle. Probably Salazzle. Ground types. I think this is Mudsdale. Yeah, I think this is Mudsdale. Flying types. This is probably an Oricorio form, or is it another? Oh no, it's a Minior form. Okay. Really, really difficult here. I'm going to do this and do this, I think. Psychic types. What do we have here? Some great psychic types. I like the legendaries of this generation. That's basically it in terms of Pokemon. There's a couple, like, I've pointed out basically my favourite other ones. Golisopod, Salazzle, Decidueye. That's about it. I guess Alolan Ninetales as well. But the legendaries, I think, are brilliant in this generation. What other steel types do we have? Or am I going to be picking that over here? It might just be... Alright, I'm gonna go Solgaleo for now. I'm gonna go Solgaleo for now. Bug types. This is probably Wimpod. Again, those two can be interchangeable, I guess. Rock types, this is definitely Rockruff. I love Rockruff. I like all three of the Lycan Rock forms as well. But I'm going to pick Rockruff. Ghost types, this is definitely Lunala. I really like Lunala. I like Solgaleo and Lunala a lot. I also really like Mimikyu though. I'm going to go Lunala though. Dragon types, now this is a worry because I'm not a fan of any of these dragon types really. It's probably Naganadel, to be honest. Needle. Dark types. This is a tough ask. This is a very tough ask. Probably Battle Bond Greninja. Actually, I don't even know. That might not even be true. I think I do prefer Incineroar to Battle Bond Greninja. I think normal Greninja is better than Battle Bond Greninja. Metal types. Or, sorry, steel types. Probably Duskmane, to be honest. I really like Duskmane and Solgaleo. Starters, Rowlet without a doubt. Gimmick form. Look at the legs on that Meltan. Incredible. This is definitely... It's between Vulpix and Ninetales. I'm going to go Ninetales. And finally, my favourite legendary is easily Solgaleo here. Generation 8. Normal types. It's going to be... I'm going to put Zorua, just because I'm pretty sure this is going to be Zoroark, right? Let's have a quick look. Actually, it might not be. And I prefer Zoroark. So let's lock in Zoroark for now. Fire types. It's between Hisuian Arcanine and Scorbunny, I think. I actually quite like a lot of these fire types. I also like Sizzlypede and Centiskorch. Let's go Scorbunny. Water types. This is probably Sobble, to be honest. Yeah, let's go Sobble. Grass types. This is probably Grookey, to be honest. Yeah. Electric types. This is Chonky Pikachu, I assume. It's probably Regieleki, to be completely honest. I quite like non-Hangry Morpeko, though. No, I'm going to go... I like Toxel and Toxtricity as well. Actually, maybe it is Toxtricity. Yamper and Boltund I want to say I really like, but there's just... I don't know. I feel like Boltund was a bit of a letdown. I'm going to go Toxtricity. Ice types, this is... I really want to click Snom and Frostmoth. I'm going to get a lot of hate for not clicking Snom and Frostmoth, but I think this form of Ice Q is just hilarious. Okay, I'm going to pick Frostmoth, though. I think I'm going to pick Frostmoth. I might come back if I see if I don't see another bug type, though, and pick some no Ice Q. Fighting types. This is definitely Kubfu. I really like Kubfu. I like Urshifu as well. I definitely prefer Rapid Urshi to Single Urshi. And I also really like Dauntless Shield, Zamazenta. And... okay, there's actually some pretty good fighting types in this gen. I'm going to go I'm going Kubfu or Urshifu. I'm going to go Kubfu. Poison types. I think this is just regular Eternatus. Is it? Yeah, it's just regular Eternatus. Ground types. I think it's just Silicobra. Yeah, it's just Silicobra. Flying types. This is going to be tough because I want all three. I wanted to weave all three of these in. What other dark types are there? Am I going to be getting another dark type on here? Probably not. So Moltres will be able to pop in here. So I don't need to pick Moltres here. Other than that, my favorite one... it might be Corviknight, actually. It might be Corviknight. Yeah, let's go Corviknight. Psychic types. Now, not a huge fan of many of these. I like Galarian Articuno. But I think my favorite psychic type is Galarian Ponyta. The bug types. This is where I'm going to probably pick Centiskorch. Yeah, I'm going to pick Centiskorch here. Rock types. This is definitely just going to be Hisuian Arcanine. Easy. Ghost types. Now, the Dreepy line is brilliant. The Dreepy line is definitely brilliant. What other dragons are there? The horse forms. I'm going to pick Dragapult. Because I think for my dragon, I'm going to pick Regidrago. I really like Regidrago. I think it's a really cool Pokemon. Dark types. This is easily Galarian Moltres. Steel types. I think this is Zacian. Crown Form Zacian. Yeah, I think this is Crown Form Zacian. Fairy types. Again, I might double up here. I think this is the... have I doubled up yet? I still might not have doubled up yet. So if I haven't, I'd really like to not double up. Fairy types. This is tough because I don't really like many of them outside of Zacian. Okay, I'm gonna pick Zamazenta here and Zacian here. Just to not double up again. I know it's kind of cheating, but hey ho. My favorite starter, this is really difficult because I actually like all three of these starters, as you can tell. I think Grookey is my favorite though. Look at all the gimmick forms in Generation 8. My favorite is without a doubt Hisuian Zoroark though. And my favorite legendary is Galarian Moltres. And finally on to Gen 9. This one should be pretty quick, I think. Mouse hold. Brilliant. I'm going to sneeze. No, I'm not. Yes. Oh, wait, am I? I can't tell. I can't tell whether there's another one. Favorite fire type though. I actually haven't finished these games yet, so this is going to be. Oh, it's made my eye water. I haven't actually finished these games yet, so this is going to be a little bit biased, probably towards earlier Pokemon. I'm going to go Ceruledge though. I'm going to be pretty bad with some of these names, I think. Water types. The Tatsugiri Dondozo stuff is really cool. Walking Wave or Waking Wave, or wait, I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called Waking Wave or something. Is pretty cool, but I think it's tough. I'm so disappointed in what they did with Finizen and Palafin. I think it could have been so much cooler. I'm gonna pick Finizen. Grass types. Yeah, this is just. Wait, what type is what other type is Toadschool? I can't remember. Is it ground maybe? Oh, but then there's Palday and Wooper. I really like Spaghetti, so. But Toadschool is Toadscool. This is really hard. Basically between the Pormot line and the what's this Pokemon called? Kilowattrel line. I'm gonna pick Pormot. Ice types. I haven't caught this Pokemon yet. I can't remember what it's called, but I think this will probably be my favorite Pokemon. But for now, I'm gonna pick the. I think this one's called Arctobax. What's this? Fighting types. Fighting types. Fighting types. This is probably Koraidon. What other dragon types are there? Okay, there's some very cool dragon types. It's probably Koraidon. Poison. This is easily Grafaiai. Ground types. This is easily Paldean Wooper. Flying types. This is tough because I do like the future Hydreigon. I don't know what it's called. I'm gonna pick Wattrel though. Psychic types. Ooh, haven't encountered the Jigglypuff yet. I think this is probably Armor Rouge. The bugs. This probably is the. I can't remember what this is called, but the Paradox Volcarona. Rock types. I quite like Garganacl. I'm gonna go Garganical. I don't know what it's called. Ghost types. There are some insanely good ghost types in this generation. I like basically all of these Pokemon bar the Brambles. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Gimmighoul. I'm gonna go Gimmighoul. Dragons. I'm pretty sure this is a dark type as well, right? Yeah. Are they all dark types? Okay, they're all dark types. This must be fire, grass, ice, and I don't know what type of this one is. Steel, maybe? No. Have we seen it already? Ground, rock. I have no idea what other type that one is. But yeah, back to this. Dragon types, probably Soaring Moon. Dark types, probably also Soaring Moon, to be fair. I think it will probably end up being one of these 4 legendaries when I get to the point in the game where they are. Steel types, this is definitely Tinkaton. Fairy types, this is definitely Daxbun. Starter. I really like all of the starters. I'm surprised I didn't pick any of them. I really like all of the starters in their smallest forms. I think my favourite is Quaxly though. Gimmick form. I love Wooper so much, but I think it is Toadscool. And Legend, I'm pretty sure, is Koraidon. So I'll do all my favourites at the end. I'm just going to do the little bits of favourite here. Favourite regional bird. I like Pidgey. I like Tailo. I like Starly, but I think Wattrel is my favourite. Favourite regional mammal. This is kind of hard. Probably it's Squave or Lechonk, I think. Favorite regional bug. This is also kind of weird. Probably Nimble, to be honest. Nimble's really cool. Yeah, let's go Nimble. Favorite pseudo legendary. Yeah, I think my favorite pseudo is Garchomp. Favorite Pikachu clone. Oh, they're considering these the Pikachu clones, are they? Well, that means I'm going to pick one of them. You can pick Pikachu as your favorite Pikachu clone. That's quite funny. Favorite evolution. This is tied between Umbreon and Espeon, so I'm just going to pick one of them. Favorite fossil is probably Tyrantrum. Yeah. Favorite regional form. Wow. Hisuian Zoroark, I think. It's between Hisuian Zoroark and Alolan Ninetales. I think it's Hisuian Zoroark, though. Favorite Gigantamax. Again, I'm really not a fan of many of these. It's probably just Charizard. Just because of the flames. I just think Toxtricity is quite cool. But yeah, I'm going to go Charizard. Favorite box legendary. Pretty sure it's Giratina. I think Giratina is my favorite legendary of all time. Koraidon is a very close second, though, I think. Koraidon, I think, is one of my favorite legendaries I've ever made. Favorite mythical. I've never really done any of the mythical events, so I don't really have massive fondness of any of them other than Darkrai. And maybe Deoxys. Let's go... Do I prefer Darkrai or Deoxys? Oh, there is Zeraora, actually. I do like Zeraora. I just wish it was a fighting type as well. It's definitely one of those three, though. I'm gonna go Deoxys. Favorite Ultra Beast. This is Naganadel. Favorite Paradox. This is probably Koraidon. Again, I haven't played the game. I'm assuming Koraidon is a Paradox form of Cyclizar. Close second would be Soaring Moon, though. Favorite type? It's between Fire and Dark. I'm going to go Fire. I'm pretty sure I have more Fire types than Dark types. 1, 2. Oh, no. Oh, we can't see. We'll be able to tell in a minute. Favorite Pokeball? This is a really weird one. Favorite Pokeball? What a weird question. Let's just go with... I actually like catching stuff just in Pokeballs, to be honest. Favorite Spinder? Yeah, I mean... That one, why not? Favorite Vivian is this one. Favorite Alcremie. There is actually one Alcremie that I do think looks cooler than the others, and it's this one. Oh, there's more. There's more options. Yeah, let's just do that one. I'm not going to do my team because Oh, interesting. I'm not going to do my team just because I don't think I could I don't think I could get it down to 6, to be honest. Okay, so yeah, let's do favorite of Gen 1. Favorite Pokemon of Gen 1, so it just picks all of your or it just selects all of your favorites for you to pick from. My favorite Pokemon of Generation 1 is... It's a difficult question. Very, very difficult question. I think it's probably Arcanine. Yeah, it's probably Arcanine. Favorite Pokemon of Generation 2. This is gonna be probably Espeon. Favorite Pokemon of Gen 3 is probably Mudkip. Favorite of Gen 4 is easily Chimchar. Favorite of Gen 5 is probably Volcarona, to be honest. It's between Volcarona, Hydreigon, and Zoroark. I think it's probably Volcarona. Favorite Pokemon of Generation 6. This one's going to be a bit more of a struggle, I think. This is probably... it's probably Dragalge. Or Dragalage. Yeah, it's probably Dragalge. I'm not too sure about that one, though. Favorite Gen 7. Gen 7? Yeah, favorite of Gen 7. Again, a bit of a tougher call. Probably Rowlet, to be honest. Or it could be a load of Ninetales. It's either a round boy or a load of Ninetales. Let's go Alolan Tails. Favorite of Gen 8. This is definitely Hisuian Zoroark. Or is it Galarian Moltres? I think it's probably Hisuian Zoroark. Favorite Pokemon of Generation 9. This is a really tough call considering I haven't played through the whole game yet. I think it might be Koraidon though. It's either Koraidon or I think it's either Koraidon or Pawmot. I'm gonna go Koraidon. Favorite normal type. Yeah, gonna be Hisuian Zoro. Favorite fire type. This is gonna be Chimchar. Favorite water type. This is probably Wooper. Oh no, it's probably Piplup actually. Yeah, it's Piplup. Favorite grass type. This is between Grookey and this is between Grookey and Toadschool, I think. Favorite lightning type is definitely gonna be Luxray out of these. Favorite ice type, gonna be a load on Vulpix. Favorite fighting type, gonna be Koraidon. Favorite poison type, gonna be Dragalge. Favorite ground type, probably it's between this I do like ground types. It turns out tough. This is tough. Probably Quack, to be honest. Favorite flying type. Feel a bit of a sellout picking Moltres. But I think it is Moltres. Favorite psychic type is Espeon. Favorite bug type. Honestly, probably is out of these. Again, it's weird because I like Volcarona is probably my favorite. I do probably prefer Volcarona to Paradox Volcarona, but out of these, it's probably Volcarona. But yeah, we've got Volcarona up here. Favorite rock type. I think it's Rockruff. It's either Rockruff. It's one of these three, I think. Rockruff, Tyrant, or Aerodactyl. I think it might be Aerodactyl, actually. Favorite ghost type. This is easily Giratina. Favorite dragon type. This is probably Ray. Favorite dark type, Galarian Moltres. Favorite steel type, probably Aegislash actually. I think I prefer Aegislash to Metagross. Favorite fairy type, yeah, this one once again is going to be Ninetales. Favorite starter, Chimchar. Favorite gimmick form, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is just Hisuian Zorro. Really cool. Favorite legend, Giratina. Favorite Pokemon is indeed Chimchar. So that's me done. I don't know how long this video was, but yeah, this is a really fun activity, to be honest, and I just wanted to do it as a bit of a you know, a nice break from some TCG. I really recommend you try it. You end up finding out some really cool things about ones you like and thinking up stories and why you like them, stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Just something a bit different for today. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we will be back tomorrow for another video. Make sure you try it out, and we'll share them in the Discord. I'll leave the link to the Discord as well. Share them in the Discord, showing off your favourite mons as well, because we are super interested in what Pokemon you guys like as well. So yeah, thanks so much for tuning in, and see you tomorrow for another video. Cheers.